Welcome back to the So Far So Good podcast. My name is Christopher Coombs.
And my name is Gaurav Khazanchi. Welcome back, everybody.
Yes, welcome back and thank you again for tuning in to this lovely episode. I'm guessing you're listening from home right now.
We hope you are. If not, just take care of yourselves and take care of everyone around you.
That's right. Majority of our listeners seem to be Melbourne-based. They do spread out everywhere, but Melbourne is copying it at the moment. It's not great out here.
That is true. So we are a bit of a exclusion to the world, and we do have international listeners who do message in every now and then, and we've mentioned that before. Quite a few from the US and Canada. So just shout out to you guys once again.
Yeah,
hope everything's going well over there.
Absolutely, and as the title of one of Goro's favourite movies, unfortunately, we in Melbourne do not have enough law-abiding citizens.
I'm actually really impressed that you remember that.
Bro, you love that movie.
It's a good movie. It didn't make my top 10 of all time in no particular order, which I do have a list of, but it is a really good movie. And if anyone's just wants a good thriller to check out with some great acting performances, good direction, and all round a solid storyline, I highly recommend Law Abiding Citizen.
Yeah, well, I might watch it.
We watched it together the first time.
Did we?
We saw it at one of the staff parties we had one time, many, many years ago.
Wowee. Well, obviously I was drunk. All right, so let's move on to our introductory questions as usual. I'll go first on this one. Now,
okay.
I have a question. I believe we have spoken about it before on the podcast, but
okay.
There's a bit more of a story. I want to go a bit more in depth. So I'll ask you the question first and see what your answer is.
You're more than welcome. Go for it.
Do you prefer still water or sparkling water?
Ah, yes. I think this might have just come up in one of the episodes, but it wasn't a direct question. You're right. Okay. There's a bit of a story behind this, but I'll answer the question first.
All right.
On a day-to-day basis, obviously still water, but if I have a choice, I will pick sparkling water.
Interesting. All right, hit me up with this story of why you've answered it this way.
Okay, so I used to work in a hospitality job in functions and events and whatnot, and we had a post-mix machine. It's that drink machine that it mixes the syrup of the soft drink, and then you fill up soft drink. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
It's like what McDonald's uses and stuff.
Yeah. So you put like the flavoring and then water, and then it mixes.
Yeah, exactly right. Right. So we were allowed to, as a staff member, use that machine if we wanted to hydrate and whatnot. And I would also bring the bottle with me and stuff, so it was fine. I didn't use it too much.
Yep.
But when I did use it, I'm like, you know what? I don't want to have too much soft drink or anything. So I just started, having some sparkling water. So I'd fill up some sparkling water using that machine and then just dilute it a bit with some plain water because I didn't want it too fizzy. And then slowly, I just started just really liking it. It's just got a nice satisfaction to having fizzy water. And then I just have full-strength fizzy water now. I can easily drink a bottle of soda water with that level of fizziness.
Right. So do you actually enjoy it more than still water?
See, the thing with still water is when I drink water, I chug down a lot of water at once. Because when I want to drink water, I will have a lot at one time. Okay. So you can't really do that with sparkling water. It's more of a fancier occasion kind of thing. Like if I'm at a restaurant and they say, do you want still or sparkling? And if it doesn't cost extra for sparkling water, I'll say, give me sparkling water.
That was actually going to be my next question, because I do see a lot of people pick sparkling water at restaurants.
Yeah.
As if
some
like
restaurants
some sort
do
of,
just offer it, but when they ask the question, they don't tell you sparkling water may be pricey. But I don't want to ask as well because you look a bit cheap. So
well, especially when you're in Europe. They say, do you want still or sparkling water? No mention whatsoever. You get the bill and it's like $10 for that water.
Oh, wow.
It's ridiculous.
But I haven't been to many places in Europe, but don't a lot of countries there even charge for normal water?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. They say, like, as a regular thing, they just say, do you want still or sparkling water? Like, without no mention of, like, do you actually want it? It's just like, which one do you want? And then being a dumb Australian, you're like, oh, yeah, I'll just get still water. Pour that into the glasses, whatever. And then right at the end, you see the bill, and it's got the water on there.
Yeah, this is true. I remember there was a restaurant in Sri Lanka that charged us for the serviettes and wet wipes they gave us as well. Yeah, so bit of a stitch up there. But it is what it is. Yeah.
The reason I ask you is because I have never, ever, ever in my life one time been a fan of sparkling water.
Okay.
The reason is, it's not good.
Okay. Well, let me explain. Maybe you'll understand where I'm coming from.
Okay.
You know when I said it's satisfying to drink?
Mm-hmm.
It's like when you drink a soft drink and it's a fresh bottle of soft drink. You take a sip, and the fizziness is fizzy in your mouth, and then it calms down like on your tongue and the back of your throat, and then that feeling is really satisfying. It's the same thing with sparkling water. It's got that same satisfying feeling, and I feel like it's just one of those things you get used to. Like we talked about this in one of our very early on episodes about beer, how neither of us really liked it, but then we just got used to the taste. So I just feel like if you give it a chance, you might like it. But fair enough, it's not for everyone.
That leads me on to my next point, right? So I've just always had still water, never wanted sparkling water. I have had mineral water because it has like flavoring to it.
Yeah.
I feel like I needed the fizziness to have a flavor, right?
Yeah.
So then I saw one day, I saw this drink. It was sparkling lime water from Aldi, mind you.
Yeah. Okay.
Which you all know that I've been there before because I got the 2-minute trash noodles from there. So I came across this sparkling lime water. So I thought I would try it because I'm a fan of lime anything.
Okay.
Anything. Like I'll go a lime milkshake. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've had that before. It's very nice, actually.
Yeah, lime is good stuff. So, I tried this lime sparkling water, and just the hint of lime in there just made it an absolute game changer. And I'll tell you right now, right this second, as we are podcasting, I am drinking lime sparkling water.
Well, look, I'm very happy. I did know it existed because I have bought it before. And yeah, it's a great product. It's like when you're trying to get used to beer, you start off on cider and then you move on to beer. This is the same situation. The lime sparkling water is a cider.
And the other thing I checked as well is what are the health differences? Because I thought there's always got to be something. If it's not actual water, there's got to be something that's a bad health issue with it.
Yeah.
So from some basic research I did, a lot of things say that there hasn't been many studies done on the differences between normal water and sparkling water. But what I've seen is that the only difference is really that it's infused with a bubbly carbon gas, which doesn't seem to be too bad for you.
No, it's same gas in every soft drink.
Yeah, and some scientists speculate that the sparkling water could lead to some sort of teeth erosion of the enamel, which it is what it is. Everything erodes the teeth. But so all in all, it's good. It needs a bit of flavor. Like I couldn't do sparkling water with no flavor, but
look, you got to start somewhere. So I'm glad, and you don't have to. You don't have to like sparkling water, so it's okay.
And I am now open to it.
No, I'm glad. You are usually open to new ideas, which is good.
You have to be, in this day and age.
In this day and age, you really have to be.
I don't want this intro to go for the whole episode, but I do.
We don't fuck around, eh?
I had one other quick story that was relating to sparkling water. I was actually in Amsterdam. The city of greens.
Yes, they have a lot of grass.
So I was in Amsterdam, and I was with our mate Peter. We spoke about this guy on the podcast before. He actually messaged me the other day that Lord of the Rings might be happening. Anyway, that's a whole different conversation. But I was with Peter in Amsterdam, and he sent me out to go get water. It sounds like we're in the Stone Age or something.
Yeah, he's got to go get it from the river.
Water.
The river around the corner, take 2 buckets with you. Go fetch the
Anyway.
water, son.
Anyway, he had to do some work, so he sent me off to go get water. Obviously, none of it was in English, and I just grabbed whichever big bottles of 1.25 litre water. Anyway, brought it back. Turns out it was sparkling lime water. No, not lime. Sorry. Sparkling lemon water.
Okay.
Which is nothing like lime water. Yes.
Come on.
Lemon water is disgusting. Anyway.
I disagree.
So we ended up, that was all we had, was sparkling lemon water, and we had to use that to hydrate, brush our teeth, everything. It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible.
That's too funny, man. That is too funny.
And that's what you get for not putting enough effort into your purchases.
Well, I feel like it's not really, if anything, it would have been a pleasant surprise because, lemon anything really helps. But look,
It was terrible, I'm telling you now.
all right, now, it's finally time for my question, which we can keep short. You did mention in a long episode ago that you went to buy something in the marketplace and then you only took a less amount of cash deliberately so you can get the product for cheaper. Do you remember that?
Yes, that's
Okay.
right, yep.
Now, my question is, all in all, do you think you're good at striking a bargain or just bartering in general? I'm going to say over here, not overseas because it's a different story, but like over here, do you think you're good at bartering or bargaining?
I would say I'm middle of the range. Like, I'm not an expert. I haven't done it that much.
Yeah.
I would say middle of the range for me.
Yeah.
What about you?
I'm hit or miss, man. It's things like, look, if I'm buying something major, like let's say a car, I wouldn't know where to start because I'm not super knowledgeable on that sort of thing. But little things, marketplace, of course, is easier. It's just big things like in the shops and things where you don't generally bargain. Then, I'll just do the bare minimum. Like, is this the best price I can get? Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when I bought my car, unfortunately, there wasn't much negotiation space.
Yeah.
They'd already lowered the price when they put it online.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it could be a lie, but at the same time, yeah, he was going to say no if I didn't take the actual advertised price. Yeah, so and I wanted the car, and it was, well, I mean, look, the value, as I said, I think I said this on the podcast already. The value overall from everything else that I was looking at, it was the best value. So
Yeah.
I
if you're happy with the price,
didn't need to go down in price.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, obviously, I tried, but there was nowhere to move. So, whatever. It was
really
already
a
the best value.
win-win all around.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
Now, since we don't muck around, let's get into it. So far, so good.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you once again for tuning in to the So Far So Good podcast.
Yes, and well done. I'm sure that's our longest intro so far, but we don't muck around here.
Is that potentially a world record?
World record on the So Far So Good podcast, which isn't the whole world. It's a small portion of the world. So, sure. We do have international listeners.
I'm having a bit of a Google to see what the longest intro for a podcast has been.
It's a grey area because, every podcast would have a different definition of their own intro.
Well, from a quick search, the average podcast intro is 30 seconds.
Okay, but that could just be talking about the intro music track.
Could be.
Yeah. Look, regardless, it's a useless fact. No one needs to know. But on the So Far So Good podcast, it's been a long intro. Okay, now, we don't muck around, you just can't stress. You just can't stress too much.
Well, that's the thing in life. Like, why stress? Because you can only control what you can control.
Exactly. And according to Christopher Coombs, the only thing you can't control is the sun rising and the sun setting, because that is the only thing guaranteed.
Yep. Absolutely.
Just can't stress. Now, bringing it in with our first thing we wanna mention to you guys. We did mention a few episodes ago that Chris Coombs will fix up his BMX bike and go for a ride. Now, how did you go with that?
Well, funny story. 2 days ago, I I sent a message to my friend, and I said, "Look, do you want to go for a bit of a ride? Maybe head to the skate park."
Yeah.
And that friend said, "Yeah, I'm free in about an hour and a half." So I said to the friend, "All right, let's meet at this corner," because that was, kind of in between our houses and the skate park.
Yeah.
Now, usually I'm on time, and usually the certain friend that I was going for a ride with is late. That friend
Wait, but
is always late.
some people have said that that certain friend isn't really late all the time. That certain friend is, usually punctual these days. Some people have told me.
Yeah, that friend has gotten better, for sure.
Okay, fair enough.
For
fair
sure.
enough.
For sure. Used to be late to literally everything. Let's just put it that way.
I don't know.
Nowadays pretty on time. Anyway, we were gonna meet at 3 p.m. Now, funny story, because I hadn't gone for a ride in so long, I couldn't find my helmet. So I messaged the friend at 3 o'clock and said, "Hey, just looking for my helmet." Messaged him 2 minutes later. Can't find my helmet. So I had to wear the only helmet I could find, and it was like the helmet that I'd had since I was like 12 years old. Anyway, so I wore that. So I wore that goofy helmet on my BMX bike, and I met this friend. Now, Gaurav, do you know who this friend was?
Yeah, look, I was going to say, it was a pretty bulky helmet because plot twist, I am the friend. I knew this plot twist all along, so that's why I was also defending that friend, because I knew it was me. But you just decided to take a dig at me because we were talking about me in the third person.
And I knew you'd start defending yourself.
Okay, so
but, it was actually quite good. But there's something about riding a bike. It's a different exercise to anything else. Like ever since Corona hit at the start of March, I've actually been exercising a lot, like almost every day. Like I feel like I'm the fittest I've been in a couple of years. But as soon as I got on this bike, like 2 minutes in, my legs were gassed. I was gassed. It was crazy. Did you feel the same?
It's like as soon as you start riding, you feel the burn and the crunch of the muscles. Like it's not painful. It's got nothing to do with unfitness. It's just because it's such a unique motion that you're constantly doing, and you feel that crunch.
Yeah, 100%.
It's a great thing. Now, I do want to say, Chris said we did meet up at the skate park, and it's how many years has it been since you've ridden your bike?
Well, we rode it like a couple of times, like a few years ago when it was just us two. And then before that, it was high school. So let's say in the last, 10 years? No. How old am I? Yeah. Actually, about that. So in the last 10 years, we've only rode our bikes like maybe 3 times. And that was, how long ago was that?
4 years? It doesn't matter, man. On average,
whatever. Let's say 3 years ago we rode. We went on like maybe 3 or 4 rides. Yeah, and then before that it was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Let's just say.
Now, how did you feel getting back to the skate park?
It honestly felt good. Like it's a sense of freedom. It's like when you do anything that you used to do as a kid. Because now that we're older and we have all these responsibilities and obligations, when you do these things that you used to do as a kid, you just have that sense of freedom.
Liberation.
So it felt great. It did feel good.
How were your skills back at the skate park?
Not bad, actually.
Once again, he is bragging humbly about his athletic skills. I didn't even try to get him to say it.
You literally brought it up. What do you want me to do?
I was really trying to beat around me saying it myself, but I just wanted you to say it yourself.
Do you want me to lie?
Humble brag.
I didn't nail every trick that I used to be able to do. But
yeah, but you were doing some pretty hectic tricks.
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much could still do everything apart from, I think, 1, maybe 2 tricks.
The first trick he attempted to do was a 360, which is you go down on the really steep part of the skate park, you fly back up, and then you spin around
Quarter
360 degrees on your bike, on the pipe, you're right, and then
Quarter
you
pipe.
land. Quarter pipe. Yes,
Yeah, that's
technical terms. And look, he pretty much did it. So I was there, I witnessed it, good on him.
Yeah, it only actually took me, I think, 3 tries to land it properly.
Yeah, and it took me maybe 12 tries to even attempt going down the half pipe, quarter pipe. So you see the difference there.
But you went down.
I went down. It's scary.
I was very proud of you.
You look at it on the road and you're like, oh yeah, it's a childish skate park. But when you're there on your push bike and you look down, you're like, I'm so high up and this is so steep. So how am I going to make this? But I did it. I did it once or twice.
But in all honesty, you actually just need to go down it once to get a feel for it.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, it's pretty simple after that.
Yeah, because once you go down it, you're like, okay, I understand how it's going to feel and I understand what angle you need to put the wheel at. So
yeah.
It's a win-win work. It's a win-win work.
Yeah, so it was actually, it was a bit of fun. And then my ride home, that was tough because the way home from the skate park for me is uphill the whole way.
Yeah.
So basically, my legs were burning. I couldn't breathe. And yeah, it was tough.
It was the opposite for me. So back to my place is all downhill. But because the path and the roads are a bit wet, and I was just speedily rolling down the hill. When I got there, like I had a stripe of wet puddle water from like the back of my pants up to the top of my hoodie. So that was interesting to see. I had to wash them again.
And that's only like 100 meters, I reckon.
Yeah, it's not. I live very close to the skate park.
It's actually
further
crazy.
than Chris did. All in all, great session. We will try and do some more of these because he finally fixed his bike and I pumped up my tires. So it was a win-win bike ride.
Yeah, so at least we were back on the bike and we should definitely go again quite soon. Now, the reason we were able to go on this bike ride is because we both are currently working part-time.
Yeah. So technically full-time jobs, but because of the whole sitch, everyone understands. We are forced to work part-time at the moment.
Now, I wanted to have a bit of a discussion on working full-time versus part-time. Now, my situation is a bit different to yours.
Yeah.
My situation is that my company allowed me to drop down to 3 days a week for the next 2 months.
Yeah.
I gladly took that opportunity because I will still be getting the JobKeeper payments. So I'm basically getting 2 days off a week, and I'm not actually losing that much money. So at the end of the day, I'd rather have my 2 days freedom to be able to do other things.
Yeah,
now,
exactly right.
Do you want to just quickly explain your situation?
Well, my situation, my company is one of the ones that had to be shut down, so we're just doing a lot of back-end work. So there's not enough to be doing, 5 days a week. So it's just cut down to 2 or 3 days a week just to do that work. Same situation, in terms of payment. But it's been good, like working from home a few days a week. It feels, it feels different. When you, like in our past jobs, we've just worked a part-time job and it's fine, study, work part-time job, something like that. But it's different because this is actually our full-time jobs and we're working it less days a week. That's why it's different. And like, it's a different feeling. It doesn't feel like we're working a part-time job, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I wanted to discuss firstly, is that when we were working part-time, like through uni, actually, you and me specifically, we were working very big hours throughout uni.
Yeah, it's true.
So when you couple the hours at uni plus the hours at work that we were doing back then, we were probably together would be more than the equivalent of a full-time job, I reckon.
That's true. But the thing about that is those jobs just felt like jobs,
Yeah,
it's like you go there, finish your work, come back home, and you're done until your next shift.
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely. And then after we finished uni, we were still working part-time. But I feel like we didn't take enough advantage of the fact that we were part-time back then.
Yeah, because it's like, it's all that we knew, hey? So it was the same routine. So it didn't feel like, you know. But I still feel like the way our lives were, because, you know, we've just finished uni and there's a lot more happening in that period of time, that, you know, we still made good time of the time we had.
Yeah, absolutely. We did.
But
now
where in this
that,
case...
Yeah, now that we've been working full-time for a few years or whatever, this part-time feeling is, for me, extremely enjoyable.
Yeah, 100%. It's because it's that drastic change from, you know, your job is like the main part of your life right now. And then with this major change, it becomes this job is just a part of your life, which of everything else, you know? You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
And I think it just like riding a bike, it just feels so freeing.
I was actually thinking the same thing. And, you know, I saw a couple of friends last night because last night was the last day that we were able to do anything before Melbourne went back into lockdown.
Yeah.
And my friends knew that I was working part-time for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And they said that I was glowing. So it's quite interesting, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And I felt, you know, I feel socially more at ease.
Yeah.
Because I just have so much free time. Like, I have enough of my own time, whereas when I go socialize now, that, you know, I'm ready for it. Because I've had my own personal time as well.
I know exactly what you mean. It just, all in all, it's just a really good balance.
Yeah, absolutely. And being able to have more days off than you are working. So at the moment, I have 4 days off, 3 days working.
Yeah.
It's a dream come true almost.
Yeah. Like and it's just, even this situation we're in now, it's so interesting because, you know, you can't go out and do things, obviously, but we're still making the most of that free time somehow.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So,
and I feel like I'm making the most of my time now, because now that I've worked full time for so many years, that I know how, like, I know that what my free days are, I know what they're worth.
Exactly. Like, you understand the value of that free time.
Yeah. Absolutely.
100%.
So what would let's say you could choose for the rest of your life, how many days a week would you prefer to work?
I think, ideally, look, 5 is manageable, but like, after tasting both, I think, you know, of course, like, considering money and whatnot, like your income, 4 days would be a great balance, even.
Yeah. I think so too. I just think 5 days a week is just ridiculous. Like, how can you... I just don't know how society makes people work 5 days a week out of their 7 full days. It's absolutely ridiculous. 3 days is definitely too short. Like, I'm just taking advantage of it because I can. But I was thinking the exact same thing. 4 days is perfect. You know, once you have kids and have a family and stuff like that, that extra day is a good help. So I think 4 days a week... I think 4 days a week is perfect.
And what a good thing is as well, even if it is 5 days, what a good thing is the flexibility of working from home and being at work, because exactly what you're saying, like, if you have kids and stuff, you have time for your kids, you know, you're working from home, but you can take care of your kid, you can experience them growing up and all of that sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. And we all know working from home means working half the day, and that's about it.
Yes, let's, something like that.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, look, all in all, great balance. It's been a good experience to, you know, taste both worlds.
And the other thing that we've obviously had to do during this crisis is home workouts, as opposed to going to a gym or a sporting facility if you play a professional sport.
Yeah, exactly.
So where are you at with your home workout journey? How do you feel? Take me through it.
I know many episodes ago when we had that episode talking about the gym, and I said, you know what, I'm going to start going again. But no joke. No joke, after I said that, a few days, let's say I'll give it a week later, everything shut down. So I actually couldn't go. And I'm not telling this story many times because People are just going to say, "Oh, you're just saying that because now there's no gym, so it's the excuse." But
also, on the other hand, how relieved were you when they closed down?
no, I was pretty annoyed. I was pumping myself up that I'm going to be going.
Surely not.
But then, since then, I have been doing home workouts, which have been extremely awesome because, I mean, you can just it's very convenient. But I tell you what, the worst thing is changing the weights.
Yeah.
Because I've got to explain the equipment that I have. It's one of those ones where you screw off the caps and then you change the weight plates.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a first world problem, but it is the most annoying thing about it. But everything else about it is great because, you know, I'm working out on my own terms. I'm using my own space. I can do it whenever I want. There have been times where I've been working out while working from home at the same time. So a lot of options there.
Yeah, I agree. And I also have the twist thing, weights, hand weights, dumbbells.
The unscrewing thing, yeah?
Yeah, but what I do is I've also got like a set 5 kilo weight as well. So I keep those, and then with the screw-on ones, I just keep it at the maximum weight.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you need to do more reps, then I just do more reps. If I'm warming up, I'll just use 5 kilo. But very limited in terms of equipment for sure.
That's true. That's another thing. So I do, you know, a mix of other, you know, body weight exercises or, you know, a bit more like cardio sort of things, like skipping, those sort of things. And same thing with me as well. Sometimes I do just keep it at its max weight, which then makes it harder for other exercises because I'll usually do a bit of a lighter weight, but now I'm just pushing myself for the slightly heavier weight, which is a good and bad thing, but it's not always. I usually just change the weight because I'm not that lazy.
Yeah.
And you can't be lazy with a workout, otherwise, you know, may as well just not work out then.
Yeah, that's literally the whole point. But I've actually thought throughout this crisis that I could do home workouts as opposed to a gym.
Dude, I've also had that thought as well. If, you know, you invest maybe a few $100s, but it'll last you a lifetime.
Yeah, that's it. The only issue I have with home workouts is the equipment thing. So I would have to get new equipment because with the limited equipment, I feel like I get bored and I just get demotivated because it's kind of the same thing over and over. Whereas you go to the gym and you've got so many different options of what you can do.
Yeah, machine and thing for everything. Yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, I definitely prefer the home workout. It actually saves so much time.
So because,
like driving to the gym, parking, walking in, you know, putting your stuff down, getting yourself set. Like it actually does add quite a bit of time. Like you think, oh, I only live 5 minutes from the gym, but when you look at all the preparation of driving there and whatever, you know, getting your bag ready, I reckon it adds at least 20 minutes.
Yeah, 100%.
Per each workout.
Because look, I'm going to say it straight up, all cards on the table. I don't always wear shoes when I do my home workout. But
really?
You have to wear shoes when you go to the gym. So.
How do you work out not in shoes? That is insane.
Well, you know, I'm not really doing
anything. Do you do it inside the house?
Yeah, I'm inside the house. I'm inside the house.
Okay,
yeah, that's why.
I do mine all outdoors, so I just chuck shoes on.
Yeah. I had the same thought. I think it's gyms and barbershops that are getting affected the worst because everyone's cutting their own hair and realizing, you know what? I'll slowly get better at cutting hair, so I'll just do it myself. Save the time and money. And then everyone's working out at home and they're like, I'll just have a home gym and not go to the gym anymore. Like, you save that time and money. So
yeah, I was thinking the exact same thing. And especially people that, like, at the start of quarantine, when people were real desperate, so they quickly went and bought workout, like, machines and stuff like that. I don't think those people will go back to the gym. So, I think, because they've got the equipment now.
Yeah,
so
yeah, 100%.
I think, gyms are in a bit of trouble going forward.
And same with, like, I bought a decent pair of clippers to cut my own hair, and your hair, of course.
Yeah.
So,
I've already said I'm never going to the barbershop again. I'm just going to get you to cut my hair every time.
So far, so good, listeners. That is the biggest backhanded compliment I've gotten from Gurus before. He is saying that he has happy enough with the haircuts I'm giving him that he will never pay a trained professional ever again to cut his hair. So thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Oh, man. I've told you this before. You just wanted to humble brag about it on the podcast.
Dude, that's you humble bragging
He's
about
a
me.
humble brag king.
Me? You just talked about how you hadn't ridden a bike for 10 years, but you could still land a 360 at the skate park.
You said that.
No, I
did not even bring that up.
I asked you. I brought it up. I asked you, and then you told me that. It may be the truth, but yes, it was a humble brag.
All I brought up was how sore my legs were in the first 2 minutes. And then all of a sudden, you went bragging about how I landed a 360.
Yeah, it was a bit of a, I did kind of coerce you to say that. But
Look, it was a backhanded humble brag.
it was, okay, fine. It was a backhanded humble brag. I'm loving this word. Out of all the millennial words we've discussed, humble brag is probably the most I've said.
You've actually probably said it every podcast episode since we brought it up.
Yeah, but even in my day-to-day life, I say it. And say less, I said for a little while, but I didn't say it enough. Now a lot of people say it, and I feel like I've missed the train for that.
I actually hate say less. It's the worst thing ever.
You don't
so
like
many
say
people
less?
say it.
Yeah,
because the saying is say no more.
I know, but say less just has a nice ring to it.
Nah.
Say less.
Doesn't.
Say less.
Say less.
I like say less. I did say I would say it, but it looks like that is what I have really said less about. So I have not said.
I said I wouldn't say it, and if I ever do say it, I give you the right to slap me in the face.
No, but I would be happy if you said it. I'm not going to slap you for something that should be rewarded.
Do you like it?
I like say less. Humble brag I also liked. I said I would say it, and I've stuck to that. And there was another one I've forgotten. Hundy and Hundo P. It's part of my lifetime vocabulary now. That is stuck forever. I don't think it's ever going away.
Hundy is a good one.
Hundy is good. That's one you made up, isn't it?
Yeah, double I, bro.
Double I, and then Hundo P. Hundo P is sort of a guest appearance. I say Hundy more than Hundo P, of course. But
yeah, Hundo P is like if you're really trying to say something cool.
I feel like Hundo P has more of an impact than Hundy. Like, it's like, yeah, I'll say Hundy for 100%. But if I say Hundo P, it means, like, that's 1,000%.
Yeah, it's like a boom.
Yeah.
It's like Hundo P. Like, it's a...
Yeah, exactly. Like, I feel like say no more has more of an impact than say less.
Yeah.
Say no more. Like, you're telling them to literally stop talking, or you will slap them. But say less is like, I get you and I'll help you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Same meanings, both of them, but yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Now, one quick thing I wanted to mention right before we end this episode. A bit of an update on Poker Face. Now, I've continued playing. There's actually been some updates on the app, which is good. The animation is a lot smoother. You now get notifications when you get the free spin when it's ready.
Yeah.
So there's been some really good updates on it. Now, I managed to build myself up to about 72 mil, I think was my highest.
Wow, man. That's real money.
And then this morning, real money. And then this morning, I jumped in on a 25 mil table, and I thought, let's just give it a crack and see what happens, Because some people have hundreds of millions and even billions.
Yeah.
So I thought, why don't I just try a higher table and see how I go?
Okay.
Anyway, the first couple of hands, I was like, yeah, whatever. And then I got 3 of a kind.
Okay.
And I thought, oof, this is worthy.
It's
this
rare.
Is worthy.
It's rare. It's a pretty good hand.
And just to let you know as well, it was 1-on-1. There was no other people in the room. It was only 1-on-1. Now, I had a 3 of a kind, and I tried to pull a pretty smart poker move, right? And I just checked on a 3 of a kind in the hopes that he would bet, and then I'll just, majorly up the bet, right?
Okay.
Because if I check to start with, he'll think, oh, he's got nothing, so I'll bet.
Yeah.
But then I go higher. Anyway, I do that technique a bit, and it seems to work. So I checked, and then he bet about 2 mil, and I thought, oh, perfect. So I went all in, 25 mil.
Oh,
I went all in.
My lord.
And then he called it. And as soon as he called it, I was like, oh no, I don't think I've done the right thing here. But I had 3 of a kind. Like,
Yeah.
that's a decent hand.
That is
Anyway,
decent.
the cards flip over, and I was freaking out. I couldn't. I was just waiting for the sign to come up to see who won. I couldn't even read his cards because I was like, holy crap, this is intense. Anyway, he had a straight.
GG. So now
So
you've got
all
about...
that hard work, I dropped 25 mil.
But that's all right, because it sounds like a lot, but you've still got more than double that, right? Or just under
Yeah,
double.
so puts me down to about 47 mil.
Yeah, which is still more than me. I'm on about 35, I think, 35 million. Now,
yeah?
everyone keep in mind this is not real
decent.
money, so it's not really a humble brag, because it's...
But also, Gaurav's won all his money just from spinning the wheel.
Yeah, but you got to make your money somehow. The full-time job equivalent
have
of
to
the game
actually
is spinning the wheel.
You have to actually play hands, though.
I do. Every time I invite you all to a table, no one joins the table, so I'm like, fine, I'll just spin.
Yeah, because whenever I get the notification, I don't know if it's you inviting me or if it's the game stitching me up.
Yeah, but every
'Cause they
time I
send
get a
notifications
notification
for everything.
and I'm available, I will open it up to make sure whether you did or not. That's dedication, man. I've got your back.
Yeah. But you also have no chance of losing money because all you're doing is spinning the wheel.
That's true. That is true. But now I've got more money to waste. Once again, fake money to waste, so it's fine.
Man, thank God it's not real money because I'd be,
You'd be
I'd be in
rich,
big trouble here.
and then you wouldn't spend it.
True.
But look, thank you guys so much for tuning in this week.
Yeah, it was a pleasure having you tuning into the So Far So Good podcast. We love hearing your smiling voices every single episode. If you have any questions that you want us to answer, hit up our Instagram at So Far So Good podcast.
That's absolutely right. We try and get back to everyone who messages in, so let us know.
Absolutely. And without further ado, we will catch you on the next episode.
Goodbye.